What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of WWE 13 Experience. And this past week on Monday Night Raw, The Shield finally put down their video camera and made their way out to that squared circle for the first time. And they made it publicly known that everything that they've been doing over the past couple of weeks by coming out and randomly attacking superstars is just a sign of things to come. And there was one guy backstage that didn't like this movement from the Shield, and that was the chairman of the board, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He came out, he confronted the Shield in that squared circle, and he made it known that he doesn't like the Shield. He doesn't care what they stand for. He wants them gone from the WWE. And when we thought Vince had finished talking, he made a match for later that evening. In the main event, it was going to be Dean Ambrose versus the chairman of the board, Vince McMahon. So after that huge announcement by the chairman of the board, Mr. McMahon, we move on to our first competitive match of the evening. Santino Marella was set to put his United States Championship title on the line against the All-American Jack Swagger. Last week, Swagger returned to action after being out for many months, and he went head-to-head against Drew McIntyre, and he was looking in top form, and he was ready to solidify himself as a top contender in the WWE today, and he was doing just that against Santino Marella, who has held on to that United States Championship for a couple of months now. And how great would it be for Jack Swagger to walk into the Royal Rumble with that United States Championship around his waist? As we know, Jack Swagger is a very competitive young man. He has his amateur wrestling background after winning so many awards. If he can keep this momentum rolling, he's going to be an unstoppable force within the WWE. Jack Swagger went on to absolutely dominate Santino Marella. He worked on that ankle. He kept grinding him down until Santino had had enough. He was so close to the ropes, but the devastating ankle lock was just too much for Santino. So ladies and gentlemen, we have a new United States champion, Jack Swagger, the All-American American. Over the past couple of weeks now, Dolph Ziggler has been on such an amazing run. He's beaten the likes of Y2J, Chris Jericho, John Cena, and even the hardcore legend, Cactus Jack at Extreme Rules. And in this interview with Josh Matthews, Dolph Ziggler stated that at the Royal Rumble, he's holding another open challenge to anyone who thinks they can beat him. Well, later on in the evening, it was time for the champion versus champion match. It was the WWE champion CM Punk going head to head against the Intercontinental champion The Miz. We all know that both CM Punk and The Miz have tendencies to run their mouth whenever they feel like it. So this match, tensions were rising high between both superstars. Who was going to get the upper hand as we move ever closer to the Royal Rumble, the start of the road to WrestleMania? Just imagine if The Miz was able to pick up a win against the WWE Champion, a champion that's held on to that WWE title for 365 days. What that would do for The Miz's confidence. He could go into the Royal Rumble, win it, and main event WrestleMania once again. But you have to wonder about The Miz being preoccupied, having to watch his own back after he injured Christian at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view and beating him for his Intercontinental title. He pushed Christian off the ladder, putting him out on the shelf. Christian is now out injured, but it seems as though Rey Mysterio, one of Christian's best friends, has got himself involved with The Miz. Maybe he wants his shot at the Intercontinental title, maybe a motivation for Christian to get back into that squared circle. CM Punk hit the go to sleep on The Miz and got the 3 count, and that was all she wrote for The Miz. And after the bell had rung, Chris Jericho comes out and makes it known that he wants a shot at CM Punk's WWE title. So after CM Punk had finished celebrating and looked to make his way back to the locker room, who should come down to the ring But Rey Mysterio, he took advantage of the Miz's position after being hit with that GTS and started beating him down. But CM Punk made his way back into the ring and took out Rey Mysterio, taking him over the top rope and giving the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, a helping hand. Well, up next, we saw the 13-time WWE Champion John Cena in action against the Big Red Machine, Kane. And a lot was at stake in this match. If John Cena or Kane was to pick up the win, then they would be eligible to compete in the Royal Rumble in 3 weeks' time. And they would also receive the entrant number 29. Both superstars have loads of experience when it comes to the Royal Rumble. Kane has been in 14 consecutive Royal Rumbles, and in the 2001 Royal Rumble, Kane eliminated a record of 11 superstars. Kane is just yet to win it. Maybe this could be his year to go on a main event WrestleMania. Whereas John Cena has managed to win himself a total of 2 Royal Rumbles, where he went on to main event 2 WrestleManias. And in this match, Kane was looking the more dominant force. He wanted that spot in the Royal Rumble. He wants to go a main event WrestleMania for the first time in his career, but it was only a matter of time before John Cena turned the tables in his favour. It was an all-out brawl. Cena placed Kane upon the announcer's table, nailed him with a devastating DDT, driving Kane's head right down into that announcer's table and the concrete floor. And surely that was going to be a massive setback for Kane and his hopes of going into the Royal Rumble, winning it, a main event in WrestleMania for the first time. John Cena, though, just proved too much of a challenge for Kane. He hit the 5-knuckle shuffle, and it was time for Kane to wake up and have his attitude adjusted. Who knows what damage that devastating DDT did to Kane. Maybe he received a concussion after going through not only the announcer's table, but also the impact of the concrete floor hitting his skull at the same time. And Kane's dreams of main eventing WrestleMania for the first time were shattered by John Cena. Cena will be going to the Royal Rumble with the entry number 29. There was one more match remaining before Monday Night Raw went off the air, and that was the main event between the chairman of the board, Mr. McMahon, against the Shield's Dean Ambrose. But Dean Ambrose decided not to show up. Instead, this guy did.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing 295 pounds, Brock Lesnar.
Can you honestly believe that? The Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar returned to the WWE to face the chairman of the board, Vince McMahon. No one was expecting to see the return of Brock Lesnar, especially Vince McMahon. But Mr. McMahon, he stood his ground. He wasn't happy, of course, but the show must go on, even though it wasn't Dean Ambrose, the guy that he set the matchup against. But never in the WWE have we seen such dominance. It was F5 after F5 after F5. There were so many F5s. I mean, come on, this is a 67-year-old guy. One has to wonder what kind of damage has been inflicted upon the chairman of the board, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Officially, Brock Lesnar isn't even contracted to the WWE. Who is pulling the strings? After Vince had been brutalised by Brock Lesnar, the EMTs rushed down to the ring, put him on a stretcher, but Lesnar wasn't finished just yet. Oh no, he pounded Vince's skull and then, adding insult to injury, chucked him onto the floor. Why is Brock Lesnar back in the WWE? After what happened to the chairman of the board, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, at the hands of the beast incarnate Brock Lesnar, Friday Night Smackdown couldn't roll round quick enough. With the same type of stipulation John Cena and Kane had in their match on Monday Night Raw, Wade Barrett and The Big Show went head to head. Whoever won the match would be eligible to compete in the Royal Rumble and would receive, this time around, the entrant number 27. As some of you may know, the number 27 spot in the Royal Rumble is the luckiest number to have. And Big Show, as always, showed his dominance in this match against Wade Barrett, stretching that big leg across his chest and dropping him down onto his back. It did seem as though Wade Barrett was going to get the upper hand in this match as he executed that massive suplex from the top turnbuckle on the Big Show, but instead it seemed as though Wade Barrett had woke the giant up. Big Show clasped his huge paw around Wade Barrett's neck and slammed him down into the canvas with a chokeslam. The Big Show is going to the Royal Rumble. He will receive his entry number 27, and after the bell had rung, he continued to beat down Wade Barrett. The Big Show is just someone you don't want to be getting on the wrong side of. If you could cast your minds back to Friday Night Smackdown last week, Mark Henry and Sheamus did battle in the main event. The match ended in a double countout after Mark Henry delivered a devastating World's Strongest Slam to Sheamus on the outside of the ring. But the brutal attack didn't stop there. The World's Strongest Man propped a groggy Sheamus up against the steel ring post and finished him off with a swift kick to the skull, resulting in Sheamus being sent off to hospital and doctors saying that Sheamus couldn't compete for a few weeks due to him contracting a concussion. Mark Henry continued his dominance against Sin Cara this past week on Friday Night Smackdown, earning him a spot in the Royal Rumble. I would go as far as saying that Mark Henry is one of the favourites to win the Rumble in 3 weeks' time. And also this past week on Friday Night Smackdown, we got to see the Shield once again in action, doing what they do best and attacking defenseless superstars. Their victim this week was Jimmy Uso, and once again the Shield are making their intentions known that they are against injustice. Also this past week on Friday Night Smackdown, Randy Orton was on his way out to the ring for his main event match against Alberto Del Rio, and it's a good job that the World Heavyweight Champion was looking alert, otherwise he would have been ran over by that car. Whoever was driving, we're not sure just yet, but I'm hoping that we find out soon.
St. Louis, Missouri, weighing 245 pounds, the World Heavyweight Champion, the Viper, Randy Orton.
It's unclear at this moment in time who Randy Orton will be facing at the Royal Rumble, putting his World Heavyweight title on the line. But Alberto Del Rio is looking likely to be that guy that he faces at the Rumble in just 3 weeks' time. And Alberto Del Rio gave Randy Orton a run for his money in the main event of Friday Night Smackdown this past week. You can't blame Randy Orton for not being on top of his game this past week. The World Heavyweight Champion had a lot on his mind. He almost got run over by a speeding car. He could have been injured or even worse, killed. Hopefully Randy will get to the bottom of this and figure out who is out to injure him badly. The Mexican aristocrat Alberto Del Rio kept building momentum throughout this match, and when he sees you hurting, like he did with Randy Orton, he will look to inflict as much damage as possible upon you, wear you down, and it would only be a matter of time before you find yourself locked in that devastating cross-arm breaker. Randy Orton did, but somehow he managed to power himself out, but Del Rio went straight back to work on that left arm of Randy Orton's. The World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton found himself in a world of trouble. Alberto Del Rio was taking him to school, and he needed to dig down deep within himself to find that little bit of energy that we've seen so many times in the past from Randy Orton. And as Del Rio went to the top, and there was still life left in Randy Orton as he catches Alberto Del Rio mid-air with an out-of-this-world RKO. And that was enough to put the Mexican aristocrat Alberto Del Rio away. And that is the end of this episode of WWE 13 Experience, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Be sure to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, links are in the description, and I'll see you soon.